Recording in
Hello,
progress.
good afternoon.
Hi.
How
Hi.
are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Um, are we expecting more people or is this it?
Hopefully. So you're
Want to text
yeah,
anybody? Um,
they're here. They're
you saw, I'm recording this and yet it's always better if they're live. So anybody who can jump on would be great. And if not, don't stress.
Yep.
Here comes Chad.
Here comes Chatter PC.
Sorry, I'm
No.
gonna have to do this.
No, you're fine.
No, you're good. I like this whole same room thing. This is fun. I don't have to go full on Brady Bunch with you guys. I like it.
I apologize if I'm eating. So
You are okay. It is all good. How are we doing?
We're good. We're good. Our
Ooh, that was a
Kristen thought
long pause. Are we?
I'm causing while Lindsay.
We're all just
didn't
looking,
answer.
making sure we have the same answer.
I gotta be in sync, right? Awesome. Well, I know that we already kind of had our launch call and talked about that. I just want so some of this may be a little bit repetitive, and today will probably be an easier call. One thing, who of you? So I know you guys were all there on the initial call, right?
Yes. Chad
Okay.
was not.
Well, Chad, you and I spoke though, so I don't want to go through like the dog and pony of introducing myself because you already heard that, so you're good. Um, so first thing I want to do is I just want to I want to confirm the goal that you guys are going to go with. What you put on your form when you requested was 100 full bold. Are you guys still good with that goal?
um 100 full gold. I'm not sure who put 100 full gold. 100 full gold would be great. I think that that's a stretch goal. I think a reasonable goal would be 75.
So it was signed, yeah, it was signed by TL and OP. Um, so and we can go in either direction. Here's what I
Where
will
are
tell
you?
you. I I'm here to give you the easiest possible launch plan because that's how I roll. And if you guys can follow it, we can hit whatever goal you want to set. We have had 50, 60, 70% of market centers in bold before. So it's not like it's never been done. So I don't want to, it is your goal and it is your bold. And yet if 100 is what you want, we'll do it. If 75 is what you want, we'll do it. I just want to know, just so we're on the same page. So what do you think?
I would say 75 would be our goal.
Okay. We'll do that. I believe if we were to surpass that though, your training room's huge, right? So like 100 would fit. We don't need to worry about that, right?
Yeah, capacity wise, we can get up to 100.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So 75 is the goal. Here's my challenge to you all, and because I want you guys to have the best experience and outcome after the fact as possible. Let's still push for the 100. What maps we'll see is 75 though. So nobody's gonna like be looking down their nose at you if you don't hit the 100. And like, let's have some fun and let's hit 100. So 75 is the goal. So that first call, I believe I did lay out the plan, right? I gave you kind of the three major things that we need to do to get the bold up and running.
Yes.
Okay. So I will go over it quickly just to be safe. And then what we'll do is we'll go a little deeper on the other items. So three major components to a super successful bold launch that also doesn't make you all work like crazy people, right? Because you already do that. Is we're going to have a great ALC meeting. We're going to have a wonderful team meeting where we get a ton of registrations right on the spot. And then you guys are going to work through your roster with care calls. Those are the three major components. Okay, super simple, easy breezy. So let's talk about that. Now, I know we talked about the ALC in the team meeting already. And I have all of my leadership calls today. So if I'm all over the place, my apologies. I know that your team meeting I'm not available for, and I sent you guys that recording, so I know you guys have that. I want to talk about what that team meeting really looks like, though, so you guys can knock it out of the park and get more people registered than I would have anyways. Remind me on the ALC. I think I was waiting to hear back from you guys. The time doesn't work, and yet if we can move it or do a separate appointment, that would be awesome. What are your thoughts around that?
I think we're gonna have to set up a separate ALC meeting, that's not on our day, just because we usually do it on Wednesdays before or after team meeting, so I think that that's a challenge for you time-wise. So I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to wait
it's just, it's that bold life. Yeah. It has me traveling a lot and it makes it hard for things sometimes. So, so here's what I'll tell you. Obviously with some exceptions, Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays, I have availability. It's my Wednesdays and Thursdays that are super jacked up right now because of Bold. So if you want to send me maybe 2 or 3 options that you think might work, and I will give you which one is best, and then we can give your ALC advance notice. You can decide if you want that to be in the office or if you want to make it easy for them and be on Zoom. They'll be better ALC members if they're in person, and yet I don't know your people and I don't know how spread out they are. So if you could just send me some options maybe in the next day or so we can get it on the calendar, that would be fantastic. You don't need to plan a lot for that. Just let them know, like, hey, we've got a new coach coming. He'd love to meet with you guys one-on-one. Make them feel good about the fact that it's important to me to meet with them not individually, as an ALC. You know, I have a lot of people when I have conflicts say, well, the ALC is going to be at the team meeting. It's fine. I want to address them as an ALC. I want to make them feel special so that they will jump all in with us. All right, so you'll let me know about that. The team meeting. So which one of you, for the most part, facilitates team meeting?
that would be Kristen, who is out of town.
Okay, cool. I'm recording this, so I'm going to still go over what the team meeting should look like to make sure that we have the biggest impact possible. And Kristen, hi, Kristen, you're watching this recording. Kristen, reach out to me. We can jump on the phone. We can role play, whatever. I've had so many leadership teams run the Bold team meeting without me there live and still had amazing results. So it's not a big deal. Here's how that structure is going to look like, right? We need the majority of the team meeting. And here's the deal. The result of that's going to be that you get a giant chunk of your registrations in that little time period. How many people typically show up to a team meeting? Let's say, like, what's your upper end of average?
Anywhere from 35 to 45 people.
Okay. If you had to guess, like, what's the best turnout you've ever had at a team meeting? Like maybe you had a special guest or an announcement.
Probably 50, over 50,
Yeah.
60.
Okay, 50 to 60.
We're in a new space, so we really haven't, we're always standing room only in our old space, and now with the new space.
Oh, I gotcha.
Getting consistently more people, so I think that there's still a negative stigma thinking there's not enough room for everybody. So I think that we can, our plan is on Monday and Tuesday to do Bold calls, retention calls, and trying to get as many people to team meeting as possible.
So I love that. So here's what I'm going to suggest. So first of all, whoever shows up, if we follow the team meeting plan like great and the energy is great, we can get half of those people signed up. Easy peasy. I've done it so many times. So this could be a giant chunk of your registration goal. So a couple things. Make a big deal about this meeting. Say that there's a special announcement, that something exciting is coming. Do not call it Bold. Even though I know you've already mentioned Bold to your market center, they don't need to know, right? Like, don't call it Bold, because anybody who has preconceived notions will not show up. And I've had so many Bold haters still register because they come and they realize they're being silly. So create some FOMO and a little bit of interest. Don't give them a lot of information. Just, you cannot miss this meeting. This is going to be the best meeting, blah, blah, blah. Make a big deal about it and you'll have a great turnout. Okay. And then here's how this works. You'll take the beginning little bit and do whatever you normally do at a team meeting. Any announcements, awards, classes that are coming up, fun stuff like that, right? So that's 15 to 20 minutes. And then we're going to dive into bold. So Kristen will then come up and she will announce bold. And I've already seen great energy from Kristen, and yet here's her reminder, like they will match her energy. So it can't be like, hey guys, the bold's coming. Like, no, like she needs to like be ridiculous and put a purple wig on or something stupid. Like literally, if her excitement will be super infectious. So she's going to announce bold and why you guys are having it now and why it's important. Quick little blurb. Then she's going to bring up a bold panel, and this shouldn't be. It's 2 to 3 people tops. All right, who have taken bold before, who have a great sort of win story, whatever. It's really nice if you have somebody who is super business win and somebody who is like a personal thing. That's a nice balance. They've got to be someone who's willing to take this bold, because the biggest energy killer in a bold meeting is they give this awesome testimonial and one of your agents says, hey, so you're taking it this time. And they're like, oh no, I'm not taking it this time. Ugh. They negate everything they said. So make sure you have 2 or 3 people who are willing to share a little bit of their story. It can be very conversational, question and answer. We're talking about 5 to 7 minutes. It shouldn't take a super long time just to get people, you know. It's one thing when your parent tells you to do something, and then it's another when your peer does. You tend to listen to the peer. And it's the same thing with agents. Like you guys as leadership are going to say, bold's amazing, you should take it. The coach that gets paid to do it is going to say, bold's amazing, you should take it. Sometimes it takes that third party to be like, oh, okay, maybe it really is great. So they'll talk, and that's when you guys will introduce me and you'll play the video. And you don't even necessarily need to say that I'm not live. I address it in the video. Like just introduce me, play the video. And then at the end of the video, which I already put it in there, you know, I told them like, stand up if you're ready. Like that's where you guys get to be just accountability ninjas in the room. And we're closing them in the room. My assistant will send you a paper registration form. I do not like QR codes or live links in a meeting because it's just so easy to grab your phone and just, yeah, no, I'm totally registering. I want them to put pen on paper, and you guys can collect those. My assistant will process them. If you want to, it's fine. I know it's a lot of tedious work, so she'll process them. Don't worry about Keller Williams ID. She can look that up, or you guys can look it up later. Don't let somebody not sign up because they don't know their KWU ID. That's the gist of it. And then the idea is though, like you got to make a big deal that they are not like, the form comes back to you guys before they leave that room. No, like, I'll give it to you later. Like that doesn't work. And a great way to do that. So the last thing on team meeting is you should put together some sort of either like balloon wall or a wheel, some sort of prize situation. I don't care what the prizes are. I don't care if they're expensive or if they're all scratch offs. I really don't care. The reality is that if people have the added incentive, if I know I'm going to sign up and I sign up today, I might win something, they're more likely to take action. So if you can go to your vendors, maybe even to your ALC, like get some things that you can give away, and I will give you $400 towards that. You guys can use that however you like. It could be 1/2 scholarship as a big prize. It could be $400 bills, like whatever you want to do with it. Just let me know what you're going to do with it and then who I should pay it to, whether it's the Market Center directly or one of you guys. So just, I will kick you off with $400, and yet you have a little bit of time to reach out to your preferred vendors and everything and just see what they're willing to give away. Gift cards, lottery tickets, gosh, like a month off of your office dues, coaching sessions with so-and-so, like whoever. So that's what's going to help you with the awkward closing at the end of the meeting, right? Like it's a lot easier if they have an incentive to do it on the spot. So I know that Kristen's the main driver, and yet obviously you guys are all involved. So what questions do you guys have about that team meeting?
That's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
I took a bunch of notes. Like,
Great.
oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Great. So that's that. So the care calls to bold. I want you guys to create a roster that you guys can share with one another and do a green, yellow, red light system. Once they are registered for full bold, it is a green light. Okay. If they are first step and or undecided, that's a yellow light. That's somebody who you're going to come back to. And red is red is not for no's, red is for aggressive no's. Red is for the few people that every office has a few that just there's no way they're ever going to bold. And by the way, if you ask me again, I'm gonna leave and move my that's the only time you would mark somebody red, or somebody's going to be out of the country for an entire month, something like that, right? Only extreme situations. And the idea is that you'll just continue to come back to. And this is the roster calls is an all hands on deck situation. You guys divide it however you want. It can't be all one person or else it won't get done or you'll go crazy, right? So split it up however you desire and then just kind of come back to the yellow people. Have you guys ever, I'm assuming some of you have learned about the concept of the decision continuum before. Does that sound familiar? Some, yes, yeah. So here's the idea, right? Like you guys walk into, I know it's 2024 and we don't do it that often anymore. And yet you walk into a department store or someplace like that. Someone's always going to greet you and ask if they can help you. And it doesn't matter what reason you came there for. You're going to say, I'm just looking, because it's just what we're trained to do. We are biased towards negativity. So we're trained to say no. A good salesperson will just continue to ask you questions until you're like, yeah, help me with that. So we're going to be the same way. So many of your agents are going to give you no's the first time around, and and I know that no is not real. That's a soft no. That's a maybe no. In fact, it might even be a maybe yes, and they just weren't ready to say it out loud. So we're going to do just like our agent should do, and we're not going to take the first no. Again, unless it's some sort of extreme situation. We're going to keep coming back to people. And the best way to have these care calls, I have leadership teams all the time put so much effort into these calls and not get great results. And the calls sound like, hey, it's Kristen from the office and Bold's coming. Do you want to take it? And it's just like, buy me a drink first, right? I want you to really have care calls with your people. Like this is your opportunity. And I'm not saying you don't already do it. And yet this is an opportunity to, hey, how is your business? How are you? Are you on track for your goals? I mean, we're headed towards the fourth quarter. Like what are things looking like? If you start the call like that, guys, you're going to find a gap. Nobody's life is perfect. Nobody's business is perfect. You're going to find something that's not great. And that's when you bring up Bold. And it's not, hey, just Bold is coming. It's like, gosh, I've got a great solution for that challenge you're facing. Bold is coming, so we can catch up on those missed units. Hey, Bold is coming. We can help you take back control of your time. Like, so if you guys, it takes longer and yet we have plenty of time, right? Like if we start soon and don't wait until like 2 weeks from Bold, you guys can get through these calls. You'll be better connected with your agents, which is always a great way to be. And then you will get great results. So those are the three main things, okay? And anybody can make those calls. Just make sure that we don't lead with Bold because it doesn't go well, and yet it still takes your time. And I want you guys to get rewarded for the effort you're putting in. The other thing, and again, I know I've mentioned this, so I'm just going to remind, like purple everywhere you can put it in that office. It can all be from the dollar store. It does not need to be fancy. It doesn't matter. It will get them talking. Okay, so get the office super purple. Use social media as a lift to all of the proactive things you're doing. It can't be the only strategy, and yet posting some Bold laws, some testimonials, this, that, and the other, that is super, super helpful to keep it in front of people so they know they can't get away from it. And then everybody who signs up for full Bold, I know you guys have some first steps already, no full yet from what I can see. Every time somebody signs up, celebrate them online, put their picture up, create a Bold wall where you're going to announce all the people who are taking it, whatever your highest traffic area is. Ask them if they'll do a really brief video. And in fact, if they're in front of you, just do it for them so they don't have to fall into procrastination mode. Like share things like that. FOMO is real. It is a real thing. I don't think it matters your age or your experience level. FOMO's real. So if you guys can do all that, it'll supplement those three main things and you guys will have a fantastic launch. We talked about decision continuum. There's a lot of you here, so I'm assuming I've got everybody at this point. If there's any other staff members that will be at all involved with this Bold launch, let us know who they are so we can add them to the invites and add them to the emails. Just because I find that people will get more involved when they feel involved. And then you guys saw the email about the discount codes. So any of you, a really great way to get your first full bold registrations is if any of the leadership folks are going to be taking bold, you might as well just sign up now because you've got the codes. It's half off. You guys have 10 discount codes for recruits. And I know that might be primarily Kristen. I'm gonna say it to all of you though, like that is a huge opportunity. And with everything happening in the industry right now, and all you have to do is go to any real estate related Facebook group to see that most people at other companies have no idea what is happening. They're so unprotected. They're feeling left in the lurch. This bold is a massive recruiting opportunity. And I want to see you guys pack it with non-KW people so that everybody has lovely, happy bonuses. And then the last big thing that's going to help you have a super successful bold launch is every time someone says yes to you, help them get registered on the spot. I know you're busy. I know it's tedious. And I also, as an agent, so saying this with humility, and I'm pointing at myself, agents are such amazing procrastinators. They will tell you yes, they meant it in the moment, they will not do it. And then all of a sudden they scheduled a trip. So now they're not going to take it. If you can just take the extra 60 to 90 seconds to say, well, hey, well, why don't I do that for you right now? And ask for their credit card or put it on the office bill or whatever it is that you desire to do. Like I'm telling you, your jobs will be easier if you just register them on the spot rather than having to chase people 4 and 5 times because you know they told you yes. That is literally all you need to know to have a great launch. So what questions can I answer? What holes can I fill in?
When do you need to know the bold coordinator and what is involved in that? So in the past, the bold coordinator ticket has been free, correct? Or is that something a market center?
Yes, bold coordinator. I cover my bold coordinator. A lot of market centers like to still have someone on leadership do it. And I think that's normally like a control thing, no judgment. Like I think if you have an agent who needs to be in that room and you know doesn't have the means and you would deem them reliable though, then I would earmark it for that person. We don't need to know we don't need to know until we get much closer to bold. And yet that might be as you're having your conversations. If you find an agent who's a little down on their luck or, you know, a rising star that doesn't have the money and you know that they'll at least be there when they're told to be there, it's not that hard of a job. We don't ask them to do that much. That's a great opportunity. And, you know, if somebody on leadership still wants to help them, that's fine too. I just find that it's better. I always like giving that opportunity to an agent, somebody who, and I've had some amazing bold coordinator stories. I had one that did bold with me, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. It's been a while. And she was new. She was just getting started. And this was like a spring bold. She was the #1 solo agent the next year in her brokerage. And now like she is killing it. And she says, not me. I mean, literally it was because of that. She was there early, she was there late, she heard more conversation, she had more of a vested interest to participate, and it just blew up her world. So yeah, so don't need to know right now. And yet it's great if it's an agent. And if you guys want it to be a leadership person, that's okay too. The ticket will be covered as long as there's somebody who actually wants to take bold. Any other questions?
I think sometimes we hear, like, I know you said, like, if they're gonna be like out of the country for a month or something, a lot of the time it's like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to make 3 of the Tuesdays or something like that. Is that someone that we should count off, or what would be your response?
That's a really good question. So up to a few years ago, my rule, because this was my rule as an agent taking bold, my rule was always, if I could get to 5 of the 7 steps, I was going to take it. If I was going to miss more than 2, I probably wasn't going to take it. We never had makeup sessions though, and now they do. So I think it would depend on the agent. Like if it was their first bold ever, it might not be great if they're going to miss more than 2. If it's somebody who kind of knows what they're getting into and just would love to be there for the accountability and growth, and maybe doesn't really, they're going to miss some stuff. We have recorded makeup sessions, so they get to watch it on their own pace. The makeup sessions are way shorter than the in-person class because there's no breakouts, there's no lunch, there's no questions, there's no interactions. And I will tell people this in the room, and yet I'll tell you guys now, like anybody who misses a session, watches the recording and still needs some blanks filled in, I will literally always make time for people. Once they have paid their $800, I believe that it is my responsibility to be their coach, and it's not just in the room. So if they need to get together outside, they need to jump on a phone call, like I will always make that work. So yeah, I would say kind of use your judgment on that. And yet there's a lot of opportunity or a lot of examples where I think it would still be fine for that person to take the bold. And then so I want to share one other thing with you guys, and I'm sure I said this when we had our other chat, and yet I'm going to say it again because it's important and I mean it. This is 100% a partnership to me. I will never just tell you what to do and then be like, see you in a week, nerds. Like this is a partnership. If you are struggling, if you need help, if you need to role play, if you just let me know. And I can't always answer on the spot. Like I will never ghost you though. I am an A-type communicator. So if you text me, call me, email me, I will get back to you in a timely manner. I want to be your help here. I want this bold to help you, not make you crazy. And the other thing is like you have an agent that you've got almost there and you can't get them to commit. Text me their information. Give me 1 or 2 lines of what I should know, and I will jump on them. I will make them feel special, and I'll help you get it done. You have any bigger teams in the office that have their own meetings? If they're thinking about their agents should do bold or not, like let me know. I will make time to be on their meeting. Like let me know what you need from me to make this uber successful. I am competitive, and not just because I'm competitive. I want this to be the biggest bold you've ever had, because I want you guys to experience that impact, both in the feeling at the market center level and frankly, in your paychecks. Like I want this to be the most massive win that you would have bold 5 times a year if you could. Like that is my goal for this. So let me be a help to you. Know that I am not a drill sergeant on accountability. I'm never going to make you feel crappy, and yet I am going to hold you accountable. And it's because I care, because I know you guys asked for this for a reason. So any other thoughts or questions? You good?
We're good.
Okay. So your only homework is send me 2 or 3 suggestions for an ALC meeting that's separate. We'll pick one, we'll get that on the calendar. Put together some sort of prize wall and find your 2 to 3 people for the bold panel for the team meeting. Kristen, if you need more info on the team meeting because you're the main driver, let me know. And then otherwise, I will see you guys next Tuesday. But reach out, anything you need over the next week, okay?
Thank you
Sounds
so
great.
much.
Thank you.
All right, I'm super excited. I will send this recording out a bit later, okay?
Thank you.
We'll see ya.
Thank you.